We're talking about flexibility tonight. Trinity class was all about flexibility. What do you know about flexibility? I bet you don't know much. Most people get it wrong. They think flexibility is all about collapsing into a heap and having no opinion and not caring what happens. That's not flexibility. Think about it. If you're stretching one of your muscles, and you let this end and this end move, then you're not really stretching. If there's nothing solid, if nothing is anchored and fixed in position, then you're not stretching. True flexibility is when you have one part of the stretch anchored and the other part willing to move. That's when flexibility happens. If you get too rigid and you don't want any of it to move, not flexibility. You get too loosey-goosey and you're willing for all of it to move, not flexibility. That's just collapse. So to look at real flexibility, we're going to do some exercises tonight. One of them involves a yoga pose. I'm not promoting a particular stretch or a particular pose. I think yoga is great. I think any sort of stretching is great. If you have a favorite stretch, you can substitute that and do the exercises with your favorite stretch. I'm just going to be using one that I like, which is a yoga pose called Virabhadrasana. Some people know it as the warrior pose. It involves anchoring your back foot. Let me move back a little bit for you there, Luke. Anchoring your back foot so that your heel is spiked into the ground. So somebody pounded a nail from your heel into the ground and it's stuck there. So you've got this nice straight line. Your back should be straight. Jen, if you could come and bring that thing. Your back should be a straight line. So you could pretend that that's a broom handle and put it on my back. That's what we're looking for. You want a straight line all the way down and all the way up. You don't want your head tilted up or tilted down. You want it to be somewhere between your arms. This is the anchored part. This is the extended stretching part. Now the real secret of flexibility is that you don't grind it out. What we're going to do is simply set our base, put forth our intent, and then let it go. March in place a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Set the base, put the intent out there, let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Base, intent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Base, intent. Just stay there for a breath or two, imagining stretching. 2, 3, and then release. After a little bit of this, walk around the room, walk in place, it doesn't matter, but have a little moment in between where you just kind of shake it off and you forget about it. And then you go back to it. And you'll find that each time, oh my gosh, my body has figured out how to move a little bit further. Without me pushing it, without me demanding that it stretch, it's figured out a way to stretch. This is the secret of flexibility. You have your anchor, what you care about, the thing that is powerful to you, and you have your intent to move and grow and extend yourself in that direction. But you don't just try and force those two to work together. Instead, you set, you extend, and you release. Come back to it. Don't press continuously. Instead, press, you release. You press, you release. You'll find that your flexibility grows in this way. To help you grow it a little bit more, we've turned this into an exercise. This is a self-defense technique. If I were going to hit Jennifer with this club, which is, by the way, a rubber club, don't try this with real clubs, I would do something like this. And there would be this moment where you don't see an opening, and then this other moment where it's too late. And then in between, there's like a window. And when you see that window, we're just going to do that warrior pose, just like that. Good. Good. Take a step forward if you would. Good. Just like that. Now what you do after that is up to you. There's a million ways that you can do it. Try and hit me if you would. I come in. I've stopped the attack for the moment. How I finish it is up to me. Go. Boom. The easiest way is this. Crack. You could also do something like this. Where you just give them a bump and into some sort of lock or something like that. I don't care. I'm not really here to try and teach you a self-defense technique. I just want to show you this feeling you get when you go, ooh, there's the window, and you dive in. You don't think about it. You don't try and force it. You just go, there's my window, and you dive in. You set that back leg, you throw those hands out there without any sort of force, without any sort of intent to make this happen. You just see your window, and you dive in. Why is this important? Well, in real life, you probably don't get hit with clubs that much, but you do have encounters with people where they come up to you and they go, oh, I just got this problem, and you just need to listen to me for a minute because it's all about the stuff going on in my house, and the people in my house, they just, oh, they don't understand me, and they're just giving you problem. And then they'll stop and go, what do you think? And there's your window. You say what you think. You put your intent out there. You don't try and fix their problem. You don't try and make them see your way. You just say, well, here's what's worked for me. And you throw it out there. Here's what I believe. My experience has been, near and dear to my heart is the old saying, blah, blah, blah. You know, my grandmother used to say, whatever it is, whatever comes up for you, you throw it out there in that window and then you back off. You don't try and make it happen. You don't try and force your point. You just let it work. And then they'll talk some more. Well, that's great, but you don't understand. This is really frustrating to me. And these people, they don't listen to me at all. And then they'll talk themselves out a little bit. And then when there's a moment where they look at you, you go, there's my window. And you say again, well, like I said, my intent is. And you'll be surprised that each time you seem to get more space. Things open up. That they share a little bit more, that your intent seems to carry you further, that you've got a better idea of what you can bring to that moment. Flexibility is that cyclical sort of thing where you put it out there, you just let go. Put it out there, you just let go. Each time, there's a little more stretch. It's a lot like liquid wrench. You spray it on a really tight nut, screw, something, and it goes, it comes loose. If you force it, if you try and get in there and fix this person's problem or get them to see your point of view, it doesn't work. That's not flexibility. But if you set your intent and just dive into the window and then back off, each time you'll find that you've made more progress. I hope that's helpful to you, and I hope that you come to Trinity class.